Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece Chapter 1009. When we last left our heroes, the so-called Odin pretended to be the real Odin, having been sent to the future with Toki's powers, but Ashura Doji and Raizo were hella suspicious, leading to Ashura Doji cutting Odin's cheek, revealing no blood, revealing that Kanjuro was in fact still alive. Which is very good from a writing standpoint. Very happy for Kanjuro to not be dead yet. Anyway, there were explosives attached to Odin. Ashura Doji sacrificed himself to kind of cover the bomb, and is probably dead. If this weren't One Piece, I would say he is dead, but it would not be the first time someone has survived the bomb to the face in One Piece. Meanwhile, Orochi is still alive, and he is burning the building down in an act of revenge. Jack has arrived to attack the scabbards. Inuarashi is holding him off. And then we come back to the rooftop, where the supernovas are all struggling to get any real damage done on Kaido and Big Mom. So let's jump right on into Chapter 1009. Our picture here is a color cover of the gang, all the Straw Hats hanging out in a snowy part of the world, along with Tama. I don't think that's implying Tama's going to join the Straw Hats, but let's keep that in mind. Inspired by a reader request, Otama and Komachio putting Amigasa woven hats on Jizo statues of the Straw Hat crew on a rainy day. I mean, it's not really rainy there, but okay. It's only inspired, not an actual reader request. Anyway, Chapter 1009, Naraku, which I'm guessing is going to be our Inuyasha crossover. Anyway, within the castle, people are putting out the flames that Orochi has set. Put out the flames! Douse the fire! We need water now! And just then, the scabbards have all run into Orochi. And Kinemon Orochi, Kinemon, and I just looked up his name. Fukurokuju, I think, the long-eared guy. Fukurokuju tells them, Shogun Orochi, they aren't aware that you have already died once. So there's an interesting tidbit there. Because I was assuming that Orochi works kind of like a Hydra. You chop off the head and new head grows ad infinitum. But Fukurokuju's line there is, you have already died once. Which, if they aren't aware of that, Fukurokuju, don't tell them? I mean, do tell them because they want y'all to lose, but like, okay. But also, he explicitly says, you have died, and then come back. So I'm curious what exactly the extent of his powers are. Fukurokuju tells him, flee from here, my lord. I will stop them. Silence, fool! I'll be surrounded by enemies on all sides if I go back to the castle. Besides, I can see Kaido's already softened them up. Goo ha 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 ha. So tell me, all you Kozuki leftovers, did I catch you by surprise with Kanjuro? I'm assuming he's explicitly referring to Kanjuro's betrayal and not Kanjuro being alive right now. But everyone's kind of shocked. And then Orochi adds on, you got me too, Kyoshiro. And we flash back we look back at Denjiro. Goo-hoo-hoo. But let us overlook all those past treacheries. And he transforms into his Yamato Orochi state. I think that's the proper term, right? I have nothing to fear from you now in your wounded state. I will devour every last one of you. After 20 years of trembling at your ghost, you will feel my wrath. And he's like, has like his 8 heads kind of ready to attack them. And Kinemon just brandishes his sword, and all of the Akazaya just decapitate all of his heads. I can't imagine that's it for Orochi. I don't know why Oda would bring him back if this is all he's gonna do. But good on them. And Fukurokuju, Shogun Orochi! And Kinemon, everyone just like sheaths their sword as Kinemon says, we have no time to waste on the likes of you, Orochi. Your judgment will be served to you in hell. And Orochi kind of just like falls to the floor, seemingly dead. I am, again, not so sure that he is dead. But I think that's Raizo, who returns to Fukurokuju. Will you avenge him? I must say, Fukurokuju, my opinion of you has risen. You remain loyal to that fool to the very end. Both of them kind of ready a hand sign, like they're gonna have a ninja battle. I would say the same to you. But even before matters of revenge, we were always fated to fight, you and I. Weren't we, Raizo? So it looks like we're gonna leave Raizo and Fukurokuju to fight. And maybe Orochi is actually dead, because last time only one head was decapitated. So it makes sense, and let me take a look back at that previous scene. I'm trying to see if there's a stump on an already present stump, when Orochi transforms. And we don't really get a good enough look at it for me to tell, so I'm not entirely sure if there is a stump, because my theory would be that the head that Kaido decapitated would then appear as a stump in his transformed form. And if the Akazaya has taken out all of his heads now, then he really truly is dead. But then again, why bring Orochi back just to kill him, I think less than a full chapter later? Unless Oda just needed the building to be on fire to kind of ramp up. Another thing to be worried about as Wano moves to its climax. Anyway, so we leave with Fukurokuju and Raizo starting to fight, and then we move back to the rooftop, back with a fight with Kaido. Big Mom says, "Let's give him a big one, Kaido. How many of the 5 do you think will survive? Ma 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 ha ha ha." And I think that's Kid here, who says, "Trafalgar, can you use your powers to send one of them below?" Law just tells him, "I would have done that already if I could. Their hockey is so strong, it's impossible to move them." And Kid just kind of grins. In that case, time to disassemble. Luffy tells them, "Hey, here comes something big." And we see the two of them kind of turn on each other. Okay. I mean, it's a nice reminder that their plan is definitely to kill each other once they've gotten One Piece. And it's kind of, I think that might be a bit of a contrast to the Supernovas, who at the very least, with Luffy and Law, do not plan to kill each other in the end. Kid is a bit of a wild card there. Anyway, "I trust your core hasn't gone weak with age, old woman. Who do you think you're sassing, boy?" And the two of them both kind of brandish their weapons at each other as the Supernovas are all just kind of shocked looking at them. And Zoro calls out, "Uh-oh, this one's bad." And Killer adds, "There's no way to avoid it." Oh, were they playing them? Because they let out this attack called Conquest of the Sea, which seems to be a joint attack. And given the way their bodies are turned, it feels like they've kind of hit each other's weapons with their weapon and then deflected the blast toward the Supernovas, which seems like it was an act to kind of catch the Supernovas off guard. I think. It might just be that they were kind of going at each other and then their conflicting strength was so strong that it kind of caught the Supernovas up anyway. But I think this was an intentional move. And we see the explosion off the side of the Skull Dome. And Kaido looks at the destruction. And we see Zoro, sword in his teeth, just glaring. Big Mom is also shocked, as Zoro seems to have caught the shockwave in his sword. "Move, all of you! Zoro!" And he shouts, I think, I don't know if that's just a comic depiction, but I think he might have let go of the mouth sword to shout, "Or we're all done for!" And it looks like he's kind of protecting, at the very least, Kid, probably all the Supernovas from the shockwave. Probably, at the very least, going to take Zoro out of the fight. And everyone, Kid, Luffy, Law, and Killer just sort of look on in various states of shock and outrage as Zoro just holds on. And we see another explosion from the Skull Dome. And rubble kind of falls off the island. And the dust starts to clear. And Kaido just comments, "Their voices haven't gone out." That key word there, because voices is highlighted, is boldened. And so what I'm kind of questioning is voices there reference to, like, the voice of the world that's been brought up a couple of times that Momo and I think Luffy and Roger could all hear. I'm pretty sure Luffy, and also I think Roger too, could all hear at various points in time. Like, is the voices that Kaido is talking about related to that? Or is he actually just talking about their physical voices? Because they're not really talking in that scene anymore. Anyway, I'm not sure. Big Mom says, they got away, eh? Very impressive. And Law turns to Zoro. Zoro, are you still alive? And Zoro is... I'm trying to make sense of that pose. I think he's kind of lying on his side. But he's not really able to fight. I think so. And Kid says, it's a real feat you blocked that, if only for a second. Thanks, man. That might be one of the first moments of gratitude from Kid that at least I can remember. I might be forgetting something. But Killer says, where's Straw Hat? Speaking of Luffy, he's going right for the kill. Gom gom, and he has like his flaming fist ready. Red, and he punches it towards Kaido. Kaido seems to dodge it, but the fist is going in between his horn and his head. And Luffy just laughs. Hee hee. Did you just dodge that one, Kaido? Because it was gonna hurt. And now Kaido has gotten his head to the side of Luffy. And Kaido goes to launch his mace at Luffy. And Luffy kind of brings his hand back with, like, hockey-infused arms. I'm kind of confused. It seemed on that previous page, Luffy's laugh was like, you know, Kaido dodging is exactly what he wants him to do. But that's not really what's happening here. Anyway, Luffy goes to dodge the mace, and it hits him, and he gets sent flying into a rock. And he kind of sits back up as Kaido comes for another attack. And Kaido's mouth starts to glow. He shoots a beam at Luffy, who barely gets out of the way. Whoa! And then Kaido, I think, is back in his full dragon form. His lower half is you know, like the Ryu's serpent tail. And he kind of waves his mace in the air. Conqueror of 3 worlds! And Luffy looks up, shocked. Ragnaroku! Oh, so that's what Naraku is. It's like Ragnarok. Okay. But he hits Luffy. He definitely hits Luffy with Ragnarok. Luffy! And Zoro kind of looks at him, breathing heavy, shocked. And just then, a cube is made with Kid's powers. And Big Mom looks at it. What? And Kid tells Law, it's all ready. And Law gets ready. Room. Chambres. And Big Mom, no, this is Zeus, who says, what do they think they're doing? And then Zeus just disappears. Big Mom, huh? Zeus? And Zeus is now inside the little, metal, I guess it was a prison. Where am I? It's all dark. And Killer says, can you manage Roronoa? And Zoro, who is fully exhausted from blocking that Conquest of the Sea attack earlier, I'd better. And then he uses that Foxfire technique he picked up from Kinemon to cut through Prometheus. And Killer goes for Big Mom herself, I think. I might be misreading that, but Big Mom falls. And she hits the ground, and Zoro just goes for Prometheus. You're not getting any time to revert. Flame Rend. Cross the 6 paths. And he slices through him again. And no, Killer is going for Napoleon, the sword. Okay. And Napoleon's trying to run away. No, stop. I'm just a sword. And Big Mom calls, come back to me. And all of the homies yell, Mama, help us. But Kid is not giving Big Mom any chance to escape. Punk, pistols. And he starts shooting what look like spears at her. What's this? You think if you pry them away from me that you actually have a chance of beating me? And she just smashes the ground. She smashes Kid in the face. She just decks him. Just fully decks Kid. Her fist is in Kid's bloodied face. And then Kid with his metal arm grabs Big Mom's arm. Huh? And he just says, repel. And Big Mom is sent flying away from Kid. And Law raises a rock, tact, and throws it at Big Mom. Like, not a rock, a giant boulder, I should say. That just hits Big Mom square on. And then Big Mom just laughs, "You little fool. What does it matter if you hit me with a... huh?" And the rock, the actual point of this plan, apparently, was to throw Big Mom off the side of the Skull Dome. Now that her homies are gone and she can't kind of float. Okay? Some good shit from Law and Kid. And she falls. "What? I forgot! There's nothing but sea below! Help me, Zeus!" Oh, right, because also, she can't swim, because she's a fucking devil fruit user. "Mama!" He can't fly down to help her. And I think that's Zoro kind of coughs up blood there. Then that takes care of one of them. Next chapter hits April 11th. Okay, this is actually kind of the best off the Alliance has been all battle. Like, they've never been in such a strong position. They seemingly have taken out Big Mom. And I don't think Big Mom will die here. I think something will happen. Maybe Kaido will go rescue her, realizing the value of their alliance, that he still needs her for at least a little while. Maybe Parasparrow could be down there, or another one of her children. There are various things that could happen. At best, Big Mom is out of the fight for at least a good long while. It's perfectly possible she'd get picked up by someone and just brought back, and all of this was kind of for nothing. I'd be a little disappointed for that. As clever as this trick was, I want there to be at least some short-term benefits. That this, at the very least, allows the supernovas to focus on Kaido for the time being. Like, that's the bare minimum of what I want here. I don't want this to be the end of Big Mom. I think there's just kind of, she's knocked off a cliff and then drowns. It's just a really lame ending for her. And for a villain who's been around for, 200 chapters now, she deserves a little better. But yeah, that really is the big moment of this chapter, is Kid and Law's plan to get rid of Big Mom. That works, seemingly. Again, we'll have to wait till next week to see exactly how it plays out. But it does work pretty well. But there's plenty more here. There's Orochi, who, again, it's like I said earlier in the video, it's weird if Orochi is already dead. Like, they brought him back, I think near the end of last chapter. Let me see if I can find an exact page number. And give me just a second. I think it's like page 15 or so of the last... It's page 13 of the last chapter. And he dies on page... let this website load again. On page 6 of this chapter. Which is just not a lot of time for him to be back. And admittedly, Orochi, unlike Kanjuro, who I think definitely needed to survive, Orochi is a character who can kind of go either way on him dying now or not. He's not super important. There's no real emotional connection to him. It's not also filled by Kaido. Unlike Kanjuro, who has his whole history of betrayal with the Akazaya that I really want to see play out. But yeah, Orochi might be dead. If he's not, and I am right about the Akazaya kind of leaving Raizo to deal with Fukurokuju, Raizo is in a bit of a pickle. Given that, he will then have both Fukurokuju and Orochi to deal with at the same time. And I'm not quite sure he can handle both of them together. But yeah, beyond that, it really is just the fight with Kaido and Big Mom. We get a really cool Zoro moment as he sort of holds back the conquest of the sea shockwave. And he also just, gets up from it. He's a little injured. He's a little winded. But he's still, taking down Prometheus. In, the immediate aftermath. Luffy also tanks Ragnaroku, which also, is that a lightning attack? Something about Ragnarok in general just sort of feels lightning, and there's sort of lightning-ish energy emanating from Kaido's weapon. But if it is, Luffy should mostly be fine. I mean, he still got hit by the mace. It's not pure electric energy. But that is the last we see of Luffy all chapter. It's him getting hit by Ragnaroku. So, I mean, Luffy will probably get up, but I'm not quite sure how much that actually accomplished. That attack from Kaido. But either way, once that happens, we just get the homie extermination plan, or the homie distraction plan at the very least, that successfully gets Big Mom off the board for now. And we'll see how effective that is on Sunday. But yeah, all that to say, this is a total blast of a chapter. One Piece is great. I'm all here for it. I can't wait to see where we go from here. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!